Good evening and welcome to Happy Pride Month. And welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. We are broadcasting live and then on demand on Roku, Apple Television, Android Television, Amazon Fire Television, and of course, YouTube and Facebook. It's 9 p.m., Wednesday, May 31st, 2023. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and this is the first LGBTQ plus talk show of its kind in the world. We're going to laugh and play through our LGBTQ plus world next on It's Happening Out.
Week on It's Happening Out with your hosts, gay guru Al Ferguson, lesbian activist FayWhat, pansexual leather daddy Elimination, drag queen and comedian Auntie Maine, Latino muscle bear Jonathan Casañas, Gen Z political advocate Maxx Fenning, Gen Z bear and actor Cameron Glass, leadership coach and leather sir Mark Pettitt, Indo-Caribbean artist TriniDaddy, Muslim American communications exec Kal Gajraj. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
This season forecast is the most diverse in our history, and thank you for joining us. And before we begin, we're going to talk about Pride. We're right there. What do y'all think about we're getting ready to celebrate? Is this going to be an important Pride Month? I wonder if anything's going on. I wonder. What do y'all think?
So much is going on. It's Pride Month, right? And we're so happy and elated to be our shining, bright, authentic self. But all this hate is surrounding us, and it's
And
hard
that's just
to fight.
at the table.
And that's at the table. So can you imagine somewhere else? Like, it's just, there's a lot going on. And we're super sensitive. We're in a weird not uncomfortable zone completely. It's going to be a weird Pride Month.
Yeah.
It's not really a celebratory time. Besides being able to get together for Pride, which is the only kind of little victory that we have, that's actually being stripped away already. So for me, I think just for sanity's sake, I want to balance one part of Pride, one part of protest.
You know, I saw speaking of protests, I saw a meme today that I thought was hilarious. And at first I thought it was an advertisement. You know, we've talked so much about Target and all of the merchandise that is available for Pride Month. And the meme said, new shipment for Pride merchandise. And it was big piles of bricks.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
I,
I said,
for one-
thank you, Marsha
P.
for it.
I, for one, am super excited for Pride. I am finally 21, just turned 21 2 days ago.
Woo! Happy Pride.
But I don't know. Now that I can drink legally,
Wait.
it doesn't sound very fun anymore. So I don't know if I
Would
will.
you do me a favor? Just shut up.
But
Come on,
Pride,
am I the only one that wants to get him really effed up and see what he does?
listen.
This is the one who doesn't drink, all right? And that goes to meetings at least weekly. And I want to get him like pissed drunk to see what he's going to
over
do.
a barricade.
no, but listen. Pride is a protest.
Happy
for-
Pride!
I hate culture.
After I finish vomiting my guts out,
Okay.
I'm going to recognize that Pride is a protest. It is important for us to be showing up and showing out, not just for the booze, not just for the Speedos, but also for the protest.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I think that many of the prides in the past, like so many people, the trailblazers before, used these pride parades as something a lot more meaningful, in addition to, you know, being comfortable with yourself. And I feel like maybe this is a call back to an earlier generation, and I want to be part of that movement.
You know,
so I'm there.
I just have to tell you real quickly, that's an interesting observation to me, because in all of the prides that I've been to, literally in lots of places, in lots of continents, I have only been to one pride in my entire life that I thought was a political statement and protest. In 2002, in Tampa, Hillsborough County, Rhonda Storms, very famous city commissioner, was able to get Pride banned. And the way she was able to do it was very strategic, kind of like what our governor, presidential candidate DeSantis does today. He beats you in strategic ways. What she did was she didn't ban the Pride parade. She didn't ban drag queens. What she did was ban the city's ability to spend any money from county or city coffers, which meant no police, no firemen. And without police and firemen, you can't do a public event. And she got Pride banned in Tampa until 2015. And in 2015, Tampa Pride returned. They reversed the Rhonda Storms law in Hillsborough County. And Alan Chuck and RuPaul's Drag Race led the parade. And we had a big banner that, you remember Evolution of Man, you know, of the evolution? Well, the evolution of man led in 6 different figures to a gay man and a gay lesbian. But at the other end of the evolution of man, the monkey image was Rhonda Storm.
Hey.
And that's how the Tampa Pride Parade began in 2015.
God.
The Pride on the river
On the river just got
canceled.
canceled.
Not,
There's
not
two Tampa Prides.
there's
right?
a river parade,
Yep.
and then there's a parade.
Am I the only one that just looks at that and says there is no coincidence that bitch's name was Rhonda and we're dealing with Ron right now?
Rhonda
Like, come on,
Santos.
right?
Yeah.
They're the same freaking person.
Rhonda Santos.
That was just his drag persona.
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
I agree.
Right.
I wish.
So we're excited about Pride.
Yeah.
We're excited, but we're worried also at the same time. It's a very, very crazy climate. People are doing crazy shit. That sign that they did in Orlando, it said "Kill all gays." It's going to be a lot more things like that happening, folks. So I'm in fear also. I'm excited to shine bright, but I have my ears open, my eyes open. I'm looking at everything. You know, see something, say something.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we had that protest. I'm so sorry. We had that protest against Fabian Bisabi at Miami Beach Pride a couple months ago, and that was just getting started, right? You just wait until you see what we got planned for Sunday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be wild.
And speaking of that, we got to get that statement in. June 17th is Pride celebration in Wilton Manors in Fort Lauderdale in South Florida. Faye and I are going to be broadcasting the parade on the main stage on Wilton Drive on Apple and Roku television. How do we think the parade's going to go? All of the conversation about drag.
Listen,
Yeah,
I think it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be crazy. So many organizations want to protest and use their time in this parade to protest. Other people want to shine bright and do the Speedos because they feel that they have the right to, you know? So like you said,
both.
So you said it's
both.
No, or both. So like you said, it's going to be a hot mess, but it's going to be a hot mess of representation everywhere.
I sat in a meeting today, and if it's any indication of what's going to happen, the conversation today indicates it's going to be gigantic because of the number of media request interviews of Stonewall Pride are pouring in from all over the world. Literally all over the world, asking for comments and discussion about what's happening. So in this next 2 weeks, there's going to be huge coverage about Stonewall because it's the first major Pride event since the law was passed by Governor DeSantis, since he announced officially that he's running for president of the United States, and we're ground zero. First, we should be, because we're the gayest place on planet Earth, but we're also the first place to begin to deal with the fight that is to come. And so it's going to be really interesting. And Faye and I are going to be sitting there yelling at all of you. Everyone's coming to Stonewall Pride.
Yes.
Yes, I'll be wearing my first harness.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I-
Links by Luke did my
I-
first harness. I can't wait to wear it. It's pink.
I've heard. Now, you know everything has to be properly covered. Right?
No, I'm wearing that in pasties.
Yeah.
What?
As you should.
As I should.
As you should.
Thank you.
No
No,
problem.
probably not. But I'm looking forward to seeing your drag. And you're a woman, so you know.
So I'm allowed? That is
whatever.
bullshit.
Right. One other thing that's interesting about Stonewall, lots of conversation about it. We're beginning to hear the refinements of the definitions of what the city needs. And at the end of the day, there can't be live performance by drag, but that does not mean that drag cannot be present. You can come to Stonewall Pride, and we're going to take the fight literally to the streets. We'll drive in all over South Florida. The other interesting thing about Pride Month, I just learned this. You're going this month for Pride Month to Costa Rica.
I am. Isn't
Tell us
it
about that.
fantastic,
Yeah.
right? So it's great. This really good friend of mine, Gabriel, he is head of the committee down there in San Jose for their Pride. And he was here for a couple of Prides that we had. And he's like, hey, you want to come to Costa Rica and present your show to all this masses of gay people? I'm like, hell yeah. So I'm heading down there the 24th. I'm going to be there for a couple of days in June.
San Jose. I've been to Costa Rica many,
never
many
been.
times.
Oh, it's great.
I've never
I
been.
love it.
Arenal volcano. You see lava 365 days a year in the jungle, and so you got to go.
Hide your
Yes,
women, hide your
please go.
wives, because I'm going to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
You're going to come back all pura vida.
Yeah. You know, there's an American community of about 35,000 Americans in the San Jose Valley.
Really?
So it's
Explants like that? Really?
Yeah. Our American dollar goes so far there. And you can have a cook and you can have a houseboy. and it's a lot of fun. And in addition, I am going at the end of June, and I'm going to Colombia. And I have been invited, and I'm going to ride and marshal in the Medellin Pride Parade.
Those are some beautiful people, not because I'm from there.
Yeah, and
a houseboy.
and
a houseboy.
cook. I'm doing 3 nights in Santa Marta and then 3 nights in Medellin.
Very cool.
Medellin. You start saying it right. Medellin. Like it's got a J in it. Medellin.
Medellin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. The boys are going to love that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the boys are going to love me. So it's going to be fun.
Happy Pride.
We're really looking forward to it. Right. Exactly that. Happy Pride to everybody. We launch it tonight, May 31st. All right. As you know, Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ plus community. Our mission is to support the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our Black community, Latino, lesbian, trans, student youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS, healthcare, business, social activism, and faith. Help us support our community. All right. Well, as we said, tonight is Pride Eve. I don't think I've ever heard that phrase before.
Pride Eve.
Pride Eve.
It's like Christmas Eve.
Do we have like a countdown, like a 10, 9, 8, like New Year's?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
We don't. So tonight is Pride Eve. Tomorrow begins the month of Pride events, and many of our cast and crew are preparing the work and celebrations ahead for us starting this weekend. All kinds of events are going on. I'll be at Gay Days
So will I.
this week, and yes, and Faye will be there
I'm
too.
really excited. I love One Magical Weekend.
Faye's going to be staying at One Magical Weekend. I'm staying at Gay Days, and Faye is performing at Girls in Wonderland. We cover everything.
You say like I'm performing, like I'm going to do like a go-go thing. I am going to be hosting their pool party, which is a fantastic event. I took you last year, and you had a great
It was
time.
my favorite pool party. It was my favorite pool party, Girls in Wonderland.
Girls in Wonderland, baby.
Last year. It was amazing. The girls were so, there's a stereotype. There is a stereotype, but we've made the joke about women from gay men over and over again. And the reason why that party was so great is I went to a Girls in Wonderland pool party where the stage and the music was just unbelievable. They brought me on stage with Faye and Allison Burgos and Pandora Events. But all of the girls, the stripper dancers would grab me and grind and it was such a great experience. The girls were just so great.
Well, now I want to go.
Now Gay Days, you got to match it. So as I said, we'll be there. And so tonight, we're kind of showing you a best of show, looking back at different moments it's happening out in our over 4 years of the show. And we're doing this so we can, of course, be ready for everything that we're doing for the rivalry ahead of this week and for Pride Month. And speaking of parties, let's start with I'd Swallow That. It has been one of our favorite segments of the show, and topics have ranged from serious to silly. Conversations have sometimes gotten completely out of control. One of our first shows of Shag, Marry, Chop was called Fuck, Marry, Kill, and we played it with Donald Trump and Donald Jr. and Eric. And I don't know if you know, but you can't say you're going to kill the president in any way. And we got pulled off the air right in the middle of the show. So we want to start. We're going to show that one to you, right? No, we're not. We want to start this evening with some of our viewers or cast or crew favorites of I'd Swallow That's segments. All right, here we go. First, so many of us use Grindr. Faye has been banned forever.
For life. That's so messed up.
No, it really isn't. She has forever.
Have you really?
Yeah, it's so unfair. Like, come on, call me a gay boy. Let me have my account.
Yeah, no, don't let her do that. All right.
FayWhat the catfish, apparently.
Yes, many of us have used it for years, like Faye, and Max has used it for almost a decade. When Grindr released a video of 4 hot bisexual guys trying the app for the very first time, We and our viewers just loved it. Some of the cast didn't think it was really a first time for some of the gays, though. Grindr recently shared a video on their YouTube channel featuring 4 bisexual men. Wait, is that a thing? All right. 4 bisexual men trying the dating app for the first time. They spent some time setting up their profiles on video. And as expected, these guys were flooded with messages, mostly photos. We understand what kind of photos they were getting from eager Grindr users. I'm just picturing Max sending all of these pictures to all 4 of them.
I don't share nudes on
Wait,
Grindr.
yeah,
I receive love.
these guys enjoyed the pictures that they got. Of course, we know that not everybody would.
What do you think?
This guy's name is Looking to Suck.
To like someone's profile, do you just have to click the fire icon? Yeah, I've sent like 40 of them on accident.
This guy's cute.
What's dating like for you guys right now?
Nothing.
It's like super hard to find someone with similar interests without being a part of a club or a group or something like that.
Do you guys have any messages?
I just received a bunch of photos mostly.
Yeah, same.
I have one that just says, bye, you're cute.
Mine it just says, you want blowjob, bro?
What does it mean when someone just sends you a picture and it says, looking?
It's mean like right now.
He's ready to get it?
Yeah.
I got you. Oh, this one's great. This one's just a picture of his ass. You said you were in asses, right?
I got some message from somebody I know and it says come over.
Oh, God. Shut up.
Did you know you can record a video message?
Wait, you can? Okay, who wants to be in this with me? Oh, cool. Okay, ready? Ayo! Woo!
He's gonna block you now.
Yeah, he's gonna block me.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna reply in like 12 seconds.
I'm gonna allow a reply though.
This person just sent me a message that says, what are you looking for? I'm gonna reply them back with, looking for someone to watch my kid when I go to the bar.
Oh my God, don't say that.
All right, question 3. With a Bacardi Cola shot, I'd swallow that. Bisexual guys shouldn't try Grindr until they have more experience. Shouldn't try.
Oh, no. Shouldn't try.
Well, first of all, the third one definitely has. Not to invalidate anyone's identity.
Wait, are you outing him?
Everyone has their time and place where they come out. It's an ongoing process.
Oh, God.
But they're saying go on Grindr for experience. Isn't that what you gay boys do now for experience?
Yeah.
Just go on Grindr? I
That's
mean,
fair.
Why not?
Go ahead,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
And isn't the biggest conquest for boys to get the straight man? So if the straight man sleeps with you, then doesn't that make him bi? What the fuck? Explain this to me. Do you understand?
I don't know. I just feel like this video is really embarrassing for bisexuals because already people say they don't exist. Right. But then they get the bad rep that they're whores because they want to fuck everything or everyone. Right. And then they look like my grandparents trying to get on Facebook in this video. It's just really embarrassing for them.
The way that
and I feel really bad for them. They're like, how do you post a picture? What the fuck? Like, it's really bad for them.
I also think that they were all like just one dick away from just going over the other side. I'm sorry, Roku. Clearly, that once they're bottom, he just said, I'm all bottom energy, straight up the top.
Yes. No, he said it.
And so I welcome the opportunity to play. Everyone needs a safe play space. Right. However, be authentic in who you are, and be that person all the way around. Yeah. And I agree with it.
It may have been a casting thing. It may have been.
But clearly,
clearly it was. But at the same time, I mean, they did pick, at least visually, 4 very different looking guys to kind of, I guess they were trying to give us a scope of bisexual appearance, I suppose. Like it's the illusion of...
They're different in vibe.
Right. Like,
but they all kind of blend together.
Well, I mean, that's how vanilla is. It's all one flavor.
I'm curious, of the four in the picture, which one is Max? Which one?
The one on the far right.
Yeah, there we go. We all said it in unison. All right,
he looks like an alternative, like, he looks like, I don't know, he looks like he's in, what is it? Look at this photograph.
You look like Max if Max had knocked up a girl in high school. The result.
If Max knew how to use power tools.
First of all, I do.
If Max was a lesbian, he'd look like that. Got it. If Max was a lesbian, he'd look like number 4.
I already look like a lesbian.
All right.
Hence number 4.
Max's parents watch It's Happening on Monday. All right. Next. Gay men will find any exercise to make fun of each other. In this clip, our I'd swallow that question was if Gay voice can kill the mood. Max, can it kill the mood? I don't know. It ended up leading to a long and personal conversation from our host on the experiences and challenges they may have faced. Reddit. I love Reddit, and so many interesting conversations are going on there. Ask Gay Bros Over 30s chat room was discussing this week something that we just simply could not ignore. One user asked, have you met a guy through Grindr who likes your picture until you listen or they listen to your voice and suddenly it's not interesting? The account user frustratingly shared his opinion, saying he did try to change himself to suit the date, but now he's done with changing for something or someone else. One user replied to this question by saying,
this is a real thing. I can't say it's an intentional bias, but it does impact attractiveness. Do you think the same? Does voice matter?
Question 6. With the Bacardi.
Okay, Brittany.
Oh my God, that was crazy. How did you do that?
What just happened? How did you throw your voice?
Freaky Friday.
What did you say?
I said, how did you do that?
I'd swallow that. It's true. Gay voice hurts the gay hookup. No?
I'm taking half of this.
I think so. It's not for everybody. There are some people that will see a macho boy and be like, yeah, I like him. And then they have a very effeminate kind of voice and they'll be turned off. There are boys that just can't get past that.
That's me.
You?
I'm like, yeah,
You can't get past it.
No, I'm really sensitive about people's voice, not just.
We were both thinking the same thing. Max is not
like,
right.
are you Ursula?
Right.
What happened? You're just like, oh my God.
Not necessary. It's not completely all about just the tone of the voice. It's just the way they speak in general. But yeah, that is a big trap.
Is that why you deepen your voice on the regular?
No, I mean, I talk how I talk. But I will say that when I first heard myself on a recording, I was like, gay. Like, how does everybody not know this around me?
Really?
So I know that I have
when
it.
You heard your voice, you thought, oh, I am so gay.
I don't hear it when I'm talking, but when I hear recordings of it, I'm like, oh my God, yeah. And so then I feel bad because, I might be rejecting somebody because they might have the same voice that I do. But it is for better or for worse. That's how I
can't
feel.
imagine TriniDaddy being like, yeah, you're just not mask enough. You're just not mask enough.
I wouldn't say it,
really,
but
I want someone more masculine, and you're just really not.
Call it what it is. It's the truth.
In my younger years, that was totally that guy. Like if I would see someone, they were cute, I would walk up, and the moment that I heard that pocketbook, it would touch the Monet.
The pocketbook.
The pocketbook. When the pocketbook fell out their mouth. That's what we used to say.
Pocketbook.
Yeah, it's the pocketbook.
Right.
It's the pocketbook. No, it's the pocketbook.
Oh, okay. All right.
But in my growing up and learning that every human is different, I began to realize that I might be losing out in real life. How can I judge someone?
That's a bullseye observation, which was what was so interesting in the Gay Bros thread, is it's learned. We're taught to think that, and it takes time to overcome the indoctrination that we have. That's what you hear. That's what definitely I hear. Do y'all agree with that?
I wish that I didn't feel that way, but I don't know how that changes. But I'm open to changing it. I'm open to
put in the work. It's internalized misogyny, and now is Women's History Month, so it is the perfect time
to work on that.
Maybe
I love women.
Seriously. And not picking on you. Seriously, I'm not.
No. Go
but
ahead.
maybe it's just a situation where you haven't put enough work into it.
But what does that mean?
Meaning I constantly, every time that thought comes across my mind or I'm involved in a conversation where I'm with somebody that speaks that way, I'm constantly telling myself, wait, you're getting, I don't want to say it's discriminatory. That's probably the wrong term. But whatever it is that needs to be modified, I constantly start to tell myself, well, I'm at the moment. I need to change this. That's putting the work into it. That's what I heard you say.
Or even ask a different question. Like, so example, you're having a conversation with someone and their voice sounds a little feminine. So ask a question to you that's important. Maybe what do they do for work? What do they do something? So that you see them more than just the voice, more than just the aesthetic. And then maybe you will then learn to take that person for their whole body that whole image versus just that voice.
No, I understand what you're saying. I just think that it's in that same category of all kinds of preferences that people have, right? How some people like daddy, some people like twink, some people like whatever, you know?
It's just what you like.
And, yeah, I think it's just what you like. I think you can be open to it. I don't discriminate as far.
Let me challenge you on why that's not true. Very much, I would think that if we turn to Faye, I have absolutely no idea what Faye is going to say, but if we turn to Faye or we turn to most lesbians, they would go, "What are you talking about?" Because women don't embrace accent in that same way. An accent may sound soothing to them, it may sound sexy to them, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about gay men that hear gay voice. We were taught to hear that. We respond to that. And the proof of that, to the point that you just made, is lesbians or women, because they don't think that way in any way possible.
I'm going to challenge you on that, because I think the reason why anytime you put like a Jason Momoa or somebody who has like this uber masculinity to them, I think we are naturally attracted to them because we are men being attracted to men. I think that I don't think that that's taught.
That is the epitome of the definition of this is what a man is.
Why am I not with a woman? Are we taught that women should be?
All I'm suggesting is I suspect, I'm just guessing, those are two different things. What you want to do in bed is different than what you hear in your head of the attraction. I think it's interesting that you go, I hear my voice and I sound really gay. That is probably the internalized toxic masculinity that all of us are taught that we should be.
I'm not disagreeing that can be part of it, but I do think overall, when somebody says, I only like I don't like a short person, I don't like this person, I don't like
you're
that.
Coming back to a preference.
But
I'm giving you the example.
I'm saying that's also a preference.
I think similarly, I oftentimes take issue with this discourse about preferences, right? Because even when we're talking like racial preferences, like there is a level of that we have to recognize is also built on discrimination and things that we are taught.
That we're taught. Right? You're right.
That I think that they are in a very similar vein. This idea of voice and this idea of race, that they both come from the same root cause of prejudice and discrimination. One's misogyny, one's racism, right? Obviously, there's more complexity to that, but I think there's a baseline of taught prejudice there.
And think about all the characters in all the TV genres. When the gay character speaks, the gay character speaks very different than the token straight guy.
Yeah.
Think about all the comedians who want to land a punchline, who changed their voice. The Jerry Lewis's, the Gomer Pyle, all those guys that make fun. And
Nathan Lane and Birdcage.
All that. And so so it's a learned behavior. So because they're the token, we make fun of them. In our brains, we learn that behavior that we make fun of. So how can I sleep with? How can I be with that person? And you have to unlearn that person is more than just that voice, that character.
I'm curious if we could wave a wand, and Max, thank you for playing along with us in terms of making the joke on gay voice, because I would never want to sound that way. I'm curious in terms of reaction. If you could wave a wand, you and let's say your friends that would fall in the same thing. If you had gay voice, however that would be defined, if you could wave a wand, would you change it?
If you could take a pill and not be gay, would you take a pill?
You go because that's where I was going to go next.
Oh,
because isn't it the same thing?
Mind.
The issue is,
but can't you change your voice?
But I think the issue is here. Many of us, that's what Gay Bros Under 30 is revealing. We don't want to be this. And my question is, if we could wave a wand to change it, would we? I think many would. Many to a majority would.
Yeah.
I would love to change it so that I like everybody and it's just based on personality, regardless of certain things that have been taught to us.
Because that's exactly what he told you.
But I don't believe that totally. I think that you can be aware of it, and I think what society has shaped you to be, I think that nurture will always play a huge influence in your life. And that's why I've never shamed anybody for saying that they had a preference for this or not this race or this whatever, because you like what you like. And I don't think that you should try to make yourself uncomfortable or tell somebody, if you're not attracted, you should just try it out anyways.
One last thought to this. Gay Bros is specifically talking about just get in bed or wherever, the hookup.
I've done that
This
before. Yeah, for
gets
sure.
this gets in the way of the hookup, is what Gay Bros is under 30 is talking about, and the issue is, what difference does it make?
Are you talking that much in bed?
Yeah,
I'm not there on that. I was talking more about relationship.
Oh.
But
So,
hookup, yes.
So pause.
that's
I was
fine.
like, so you have hooked up with someone who had a softer voice?
Oh yeah.
Then
Gay
what?
voice.
Then what?
We're talking about. I was talking about like somebody who you're gonna date.
What did we just?
Which is date.
What did we just go?
You just sleep with them. You just bang them.
All right.
So Faye, I get it.
Which I think is worse. I think that's worse, that you wouldn't date somebody, or maybe that you're like a.
Pause.
versus
You
a-
would sleep with them, but you wouldn't date them. That's worse. So what you're doing is worse than having a relationship.
Yeah.
Honestly,
No.
I do think that's worse.
It is worse.
I think-
It is worse
yeah.
to say that it's almost like you're not good enough to be here, but you're good enough to sleep with. I think that's worse.
And that's what you do.
That's what you do.
That is it's
What you
it's
do.
part of me,
So I
but
appreciate-
Okay, but you're
I
on your
honesty.
journey, and you can change that. You don't have to be that just because you were preconditioned as a child.
Right, and I have always made myself. I'm open to it, and I am trying to be more open to it. It's just
I'm
I will
loving this
never
little therapy
force
session
myself to do something that I don't want to do.
I
in
need
that
3 more
moment.
shots.
When we come back,
Production.
to
Another
this-
round.
When we come back from this very special episode of Dr. Phil, we will. Max, I'm curious. Back to the question that I was asking. If you could wave a wand to change any kind of the voice you have, would you do it?
Nope.
You're happy with it.
Yeah. And it's interesting
Has it
because
ever interfered with a sexual encounter or relationship?
not that someone vocalized to me.
Do you think it has?
I don't think so. No, I think I don't think similarly. I don't think that I realized until like growing up, everyone would be like, "Are you gay?" or whatever, and I didn't. And this is before I realized I was gay, and it's largely because of my voice, right? But I'm someone who is like very, very out and proud. Clearly, like, look at me, right? So I
You just don't care.
enjoy
Don't care.
being someone who is very like.
Do you think,
You know what?
now help us to the point of view 20, right? 2020. Gen Z 20. The attitude that you expressed over gay voice, do you think it would be the same would now you're 60 today, 2023, 60. Do you think you would react the same way? Gosh, I would wave the one and change.
I think there's a different level of upbringing. Like there's a different type of upbringing, right? Like there's a lot more misogyny that's built into that. There's a lot more just
toxic masculinity.
toxic masculinity. There's a lot more of that. When I was sort of coming into like adolescence and things like that, we were getting out of this like whole gay people being. I mean, we're still in it, but we're getting more and more out of this whole gay people are the butt of the joke deal, right? Which I think informs a lot of those experiences.
Wait, so in other words, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but what I just heard is the Gen Zer at 20 says gay voice is irrelevant, but if I were 60, it would be relevant.
And it's all about like how we grow up.
It's taught,
It's taught.
right?
And I can tell you, for even my experience, I went to a British private school. So you were taught the Queen's English.
Yeah.
So you were taught to
And I could
enunciate.
hear it in your enunciation.
There's some things that I do say that it comes through, but there are some things that I know that, my friends are always like, find the bass. And I know that I don't have the deepest voice. And sometimes when I rewatch the show, I'm always like, oh my gosh, is that how I sound? Or if I hear a voicemail, if I hear a recording, or I hear myself give a speech, I'm always like, oh my gosh, is that how I really sound? 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't think I sound that way.
Yeah.
But there are some things that
There
come
has
through.
been some,
You see it? I always thought I had a very deep voice. I mean, I don't know.
there has been some writing on that we hear in our head and our ear what we want to hear.
Yeah.
And we think we're this, but we're really not. And interesting. One last point that I think is super.
Yes, I would not wave the wand since you kind of threw by me. I would
Since
not
you
wave
skipped over the
wand.
black man again. Once again,
you said March 1st. March 1st out the window.
But you don't
but I would
have
not-
you don't have a feminine voice.
But I don't like the way I don't like to hear myself talk. I never like voicemails. I never like to
we have
hear
a lot
myself.
in common.
And that goes double. You're absolutely right. But I agree with Max. The thing is, we're taught the first thing that we see and hear changes, automatically make us form an opinion. You see someone who's different than you. You see a black person, you ignore them. You hear the sound of their voice, you automatically make an opinion.
Emphasis on that you see a black person.
So I would never
ignore
who I
them.
am because those learned behavior. Those what made me who I am today.
Yeah, I understand. One last thought.
That's the black
gay
man. You
voice.
noticed that, right?
Is that right?
Reddit is
Pivot.
interesting. I encourage you to go to
Yes,
Reddit.
absolutely.
Go to some of the LGBT subreddit threads. They're quite amazing. I thank David Hopkins for bringing
Really?
me to Reddit.
Under 30 out, really?
Yeah. You know one other interesting
ASAP.
thing? You know what? David Hopkins just snapped high fives over in production. You know what's interesting about this, and it's a perfect segue as we come out of I'd Swallow That, to complement the celebration, especially LGBT, but Women's History Month.
Yes.
Again, I point out, this is generally a male issue, not a female issue, because women don't treat people the way we do.
But not necessarily true, but we're not getting into it.
Okay.
We don't have time for it,
Right.
okay? We don't have time for it, but
on the next episode,
on the next
Dr.
episode,
Phil,
it's happening now.
right? No, on Dr. Phil. All right. Finally, this conversation was one that is vitally important to many in our community. Of course, we're talking about the size of people's dicks. It's a subject that we return to frequently at It's Happening Out. And elimination wasn't even at the table, as we discussed who the growers and who the showers in the crowd are. If you've ever been on one of those hookup and then if you wait, let me start.
Take a breath, Daddy. Take a breath. It's okay.
Okay, Diplo. All right. I'm still thinking of Diplo. I love his voice. All right. If you've ever been one of those who hook up and then dished the dirty deeds to your pals, they may have asked, is he a grower or a shower? How many times through our lives have we heard that phrase? Turns out that's not just a question for the Kiss and Tell set. Medical researchers are interested in the topic too. A recently presented study made ultrasound scans of 225 men's penises, both flaccid and erect, to see what the differences were between their soft and hard sciences. And I got this text to do this story from Jonathan Castanis. He said, you must do this. So we are.
I'm okay with that.
Behind a Zukar.
Right. Researchers found that 24% of men were growers, 25% were showers, and everyone else is somewhere in the between. Okay. And I remind you, this is 51-49, just like our politics in America. Unsurprisingly, men with longer flaccid penises were more likely to be showers.
Growers and showers. Ooh. So, Doc, is this urban legend?
There is some validity to this. There are certain men that have larger appearing members when they are flaccid, and others who gain length when they are aroused and get an erection. There isn't really an effect necessarily on the difference between being someone who grows and someone who ends up showing off later in terms of how it affects your sexual health. But there does seem to be a difference between men who grow when they're aroused and men who have a naturally larger member when they're flaccid.
So, Joe, grower or shower?
Well, I don't know if this is distraction, but this is actually life size. I think I'm going to speak on behalf of the ladies here, and I think if a guy keeps telling you he's a grower instead, you're within your rights to say, well, what time does the show start? They don't want to hear about last night's crowd. That's the first rule of show business.
For sure. And I like the concept of the growers, Doc. You know, it kind of reminds me of the little engine that could. I think I can get there.
You know, we're getting ready to prove the difference in the doctors, and It's Happening Out. All of those straight men look so uncomfortable in that conversation, and we're going to dive right in and wallow and enjoy it. So, question number 3. With the Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. It's important to gay culture to be a grower or a shower. Whichever it is, it's important to us.
Just have a dick.
Sure.
I'll show you now.
I guess that's true.
I'll show you. I just need a fluffer. Give me a second.
I don't think all those doctors were straight. Did you see the one in the black scrub when he said the larger appearance?
Yeah, a little bit too much like.
Yes. Wait. He got some neck into that one.
So wait, what were the findings? If you're a shower, you're still a bigger grower?
25%.
No, but
showers,
you said
24%.
They didn't say specifically about
the
difference between the growing and showing and their size.
Right.
Just if people were.
This had nothing to do with the size. It happened. It is the difference of you're a shower and basically you're the length of your penis, whether you are flaccid or you're hard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It just
I think I'd rather be a grower. It's a surprise at the end.
Exactly. Like a birthday party all the time, right?
All right. What?
Right?
All right, Jonathan, you're a grower or a shower?
I'm definitely a grower, but I do that thing where you like shake it in case you walk into the room and it gets just a little bit girthy.
Oh, it's
and then it's not as teeny tiny.
It's like a snow globe.
Yeah, basically.
Just to this point, they have stuff that you can do where you don't have to do that. Andrew Christian has the ring underwear that pushes you off.
That's why straight men love it. They love it.
And by the way, I'm interviewing Andrew Christian this week, and I'm going to ask him that question specifically because I suspect that underwear overwhelmingly is bought by straight men.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm going to ask that.
Really?
Well, except for the ones that have stolen his design and put in like other underwear now.
Yeah, okay.
That's right.
Well, I'll get into the legal stuff too, I guess.
Do it.
I've got to do that now.
And it's patent
bursting. Mark, shower or grower?
Shower, but I think like 90% of a package is really just cojones. Anyway, that's
coolness.
No,
testicles.
Cojones.
Oh, the balls.
What I care about
testicles.
is as long as I don't have to like sift through like Auntie Mame's wig.
Oh my God.
To get to it. So I really care more
Do
about
you
the
have one of those
landscape.
wigs down there? Does the drapes match the carpet?
No, please, Lord, yes.
Nair.
Use Nair, you guys.
There goes
Nair.
my fantasy.
There's Bernie.
Hardwood floors.
Yeah.
Hardwood floor. Could you imagine this down there? I couldn't go running.
Yeah.
Not that I go running now.
That is a reference to something you
running.
don't do anyway.
The only thing I was offended about the little doctors thing is like when the guy was like, "I'm speaking for the ladies."
For
I was
the
like,
lady.
Dude, don't ever say
Don't
that
ever
on a
do
show.
that.
Just
Right.
don't say it on a show.
Faye has bitch slapped me so many times for doing that exact same mistake.
Oh, dog, I'm really
And then you grow.
That's right. All right. Next up are some of the clips from older seasons of It's Happening Out. It's the history of our Pride celebrations. The first one was an entertainment segment from way back in 2018 when we were still broadcasting live from a corner of Drink Bar on Wilton Drive in Wilton Manors. Most of our cast and production wouldn't normally care about a video game release, even though there are many in the LGBTQ plus community who do. When an alt-right shooter game called Angry Goy 2 was released, and we saw the clips of players killing people in a gay bathhouse with flamethrowers, we were shocked, and we talked about it. In our first ever segment to go viral, more than 11,000 people watched it in the first day, and almost 300 people have commented on it as it was going live. Nearly all the comments are from anti-LGBTQ plus users on YouTube. We're going to catch you up quickly on some entertainment news.
And I'm back.
First, we want to tell you about some of the things that are going on in entertainment. First, there's a new killer game called Angry Goy 2. Now, we give you a warning. We're going to show you a preview of this, but it is highly disturbing. This is a new video game that you play that you use a flamethrower or a machine gun. Created by Christopher Cantwell, it has become very popular in Gab, which is the alt-right Twitter. Basically, he calls himself the crying Nazi. And before we tell you about it, we want to show you this video. But again, we caution you, this is highly disturbing.
We're clear. Fuck you, Nazi! I'm a journalist.
Is this country going to be dominated and run by the white Christians?
Well, as you can see, the game is quite offensive, and it is newsworthy because in entertainment news, because it's getting quite a bit of download play. When you play the game, it is a choice of a machine gun or a flamethrower that kills people, and as you kill them, the victims scream. and it's really an all offenders opportunity. If you're a journalist, the journalist as they're killed yells that they're a journalist. If you're a woman, she yells the Me Too movement. If you're black, the black person yells Black Lives Matter, or where are the white women at? If you're a nationalist, it says white oppressors must be destroyed. For Jews, there are so many references I can't even tell you. And for gay, it takes place in a bathhouse. And there are signs outside the bathhouse saying, we welcome children and NAMBLA meetings are here. And inside the bathhouse, all of the gay characters are flying rainbow flags and have erections. As they're killed in the game by flamethrowers or machine guns, the gay characters in the game are yelling, bake my cake, I have AIDS, butt sex is a human right, you messed with the wrong bug chaser, I was born this way, relating to Lady Gaga and more. What do y'all generally think about a game like this?
I think it's absolutely disgusting. First of all, I hope in that bathhouse segment that it ain't they're not hitting or targeting Club Fort Lauderdale, because leave that one out. But I have a question. So this guy Christopher Cantwell, he's alt-right. That's conservative, right? Of course.
Well, games are supposed to be an expression, just like any other art form is. And in that way, I do respect that this is pushing buttons in some way. But all it's doing for gaming as a whole is making more people think that games are violent and it leads to more violence, because it's not absolutely the case at all. I play video games all the time, and I grew up with parents that were hippies, yet I still can't even let bugs die in a pool. But to see something like this as a form of entertainment, I will not be playing it. It's not something I would condone for other people. But there must be some level of self-expression that is still helpful for others in some way. I think maybe possibly.
I just want to say in general, and we're not going to talk very much about it, I think both points are reasonable, unless you have something to add.
One, I think, unfortunately, it's freedom of the press. But
Speech.
two, freedom of speech. But two is, you also have to look at a lot of the other, honestly, gory games that are played that you can choose who you want to shoot, and people play act who they are, and it's just really gore, and it dehumanizes individuals. So regardless of that one or some of the other games,
a segment for another episode of It's Happening.
There are some, but those are actual hate crimes. Then there is a difference between just shooting random people and actually identifying who they are, and that it's not the same thing even on that front.
I think the biggest picture of us bringing this game to your attention is there's still a segment of society out there that are quite dangerous. I think we can
or at least
agree.
fantasize about being so.
Exactly, and we should pay close attention to it. Other entertainment news, lighter, thank goodness, is and we're going to do the short version of it, is the Nutcracker Four Realms has deployed the new Disney film, and watch this very quickly in terms of this preview of the Nutcracker. Which one, by the way?
So the Disney conglomerate is a lighter topic somehow.
Yes. One of the big big issues in the video is you should unapologetically be yourself. And has anybody seen it yet?
Not yet. No.
Disney will unapologetically steal all tales as old as time, so they are being themselves.
I have not seen it yet. But by the way, this is the first time that we actually can see a little bit about what you guys can see as we're filming this. I literally blinked and that was over. Literally.
Well,
when you watch it won't be that way. 5 hours later.
There's this corporation called Disney, and we like to be on the air.
Somewhere near here or
just
something?
to comment on that, because I think it's really important what they said, but being authentic is something that everyone needs to think about, because being your authentic self at all times.
I use that phrase, being unapologetic or unapologetically yourself, a lot, and that was kind of cool to see it reflected there.
Yeah, absolutely. Other entertainment news, today launches the new show, the new movie, Boy Erased. And The Boy Erased stars 3 Academy Award-winning actors, Nicole Kidman, Russell Crowe and Lucas Hedges about gay conversion therapy.
We're all straight, by the way. Right?
Exactly right. And the movie's reviews, Rotten Tomatoes, the reviews are outstanding. We encourage you to go and see Boy Erased. Finally, in entertainment news, we want to talk about Saturday Night Live. And we have a slide here that we want to show you about the new gay governor in Colorado. And they make a great joke on Weekend Update where we have a message about Jared Polis, the new gay governor, the first in history in the United States. And the joke that they make about Jared Polis is this. Jared Polis becomes the first openly gay man to be elected governor in United States history. It's also weird to me that the media would use the term openly gay. It just implies that there are a bunch of governors out there that were pretty sure about it. So for now, we're just going to call them confirmed bachelors, which I think is a very, very funny joke on Saturday Night Live Weekend Up. We're going to end tonight's show the way we have always ended the show, and that's with our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. This flashback is from June of 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic still had many businesses closed, and we weren't practicing social distancing. Myself, Chef Josie, and Misty Eyes were in our studio at the World AIDS Museum, while host Aaron Phoenix and Power Infinity and our guest host, the very popular model, Colby Melvin, were on a remote call. We had all been under a lot of stress because of the issues related to pandemic, and so our production decided to try and liven up our Shag, Marry, Chop game even more. How did they do that? Well, by bringing in live guys for us to select. And we were treated to hotties Rick York, Hussein, and Brian, who stripped down to their underwear in the World AIDS Museum in the hottest Shag, Marry, Chop we've ever had. By the way, production, when are we having live boys again? Back to It's Happening Out?
Yes.
Before we end tonight's show, we want to play another game, and it's called Shag, Marry, Chop. And this is a fun game because we ask the host who and why and what, and everybody knows what we're talking about. Tonight, for the first time since we have been doing this show, and we're approaching 2 years of It's Happening Out, the most popular live gay TV show in the world, we are going to play Shag, Marry, Chop tonight live. Instead of pictures or digital animation pictures, we're going to play the game live. Now, we've never done this before. It's going to be very exciting. I can't wait.
I bet you
can. I can't wait to see who gets.
I've never done this before.
Yeah, I've never done this before. You gay people, it's so strange to me. I just don't understand it. All right.
I'll let you know right now. I told the production this today. I am not chopping one person.
They can't hear you. They can't hear you. They can hear us.
It doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is I'm changing the game to Shag, Marry, and whose baby I will
to our models that are playing tonight, Power says he's not going to chop anybody. It's the third choice is going to be whose baby he's going to have tonight. Oh, no, you're not, Power. You are playing our game. It's Shag, Marry, Chop. Power's been on the show since day one, and he has trouble with rules. Does that shock anybody? Does anyone shocked with rules?
Well, you don't even play, Al. You never play.
Yeah.
Well, tonight maybe I will.
I know you're feeling frisky, eh?
Exactly. All right, so let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. We're in Fort Lauderdale after all, and there was a very famous
And it's sister season.
And it's sister season. Hey, good for Chef Josie. You learned something today.
Come on, Trendy.
From the gay boys. And we're going to play here in Fort Lauderdale where the boys are.
Yeah.
And so we've brought in what we think are some of the hottest gay guys here in South Florida in summer wear, swimsuits by Estevez Swimwear. And we love this opportunity to get to see swimsuits. That's nice because we all need swimsuits.
So pick the best swimsuit or pick the best model?
Well, a little from column A and a little from column B. All right, so tonight we get a bit of a break as our models are here and they're live and they can hear the host. And
they can't hear the virtual host.
Right, they can't hear the virtual host. I'll repeat, and you have the option of picking what item of clothing you wouldn't want instead of what model you would like to chop, etc. And so y'all are getting all of this, right? All right, it's mostly an excuse to look at hot, naked guys.
Even though they're in the other room.
I know. I'm
It's
like,
not that
Aaron, what's
complicated,
going on here?
All
They're
right.
kind of virtual for us
Save
too. They're
me,
not even in
Aaron.
this room.
Yes, right. Secrets. All right, so
I
tonight.
charge by the hour, Al, just so you know.
I need your agent.
Started.
I
All
need
right.
your agent.
So tonight, our models are Rick York, and there's Rick. And the World AIDS Museum has never seen anything like this before, by the way. And Hussein is next, and he's in the middle. And Brian, and you see their social media handles. And by social media handles, yes, Brian has just touched his. And we love the swimwear, and we love the clothing acumens. Who would like to start in playing Shag, Marry?
Start virtual.
Yes, let's start virtual. I want to, actually, here's a good opportunity. Let's start with, Colby, do you have any experience with wearing anything like this? You probably don't. You've probably never done it, right?
Never. Always skimpier.
Yeah, okay, all right. Rick or Hussein or Brian, of course we're talking about the swimsuits. Who would you shag?
Wait, do we get to know
first
about
off,
them?
Let me start by saying I would shag all of them, so feel free to slide into my DMs after.
So I have to repeat you. Hold on.
I'm gonna shag Brian.
Okay. Brian is being shagged. All right.
Okay.
Brian.
Well, all of them to be shagged after.
All of them to be shagged.
Colby's going to shag all of you, and he wants DMs after the show. All right.
I'm gonna marry York.
Rick is
York
being
is getting
married. Yeah. Oh,
and
Hussein.
I'm only gonna chop Hussein because I want his swimsuit.
He's going to steal your
Hussein
swimsuit.
is out only because of the swimsuit. However, Colby has just said your turn. He may have to reevaluate his choices. All right. All right, great. Power. No. I'm going to hold on to Power. Aaron, you tell me who are you shagging? Now, wait, guys, I have to tell you first. Here's something you don't know about Aaron. This choice is really, really important. In the time that Aaron's been on the show, how long, Aaron, have you done It's Happening Out?
It feels like at least 17 years.
You know, MF, how long,
MF.
seriously?
A year and a half, I guess.
Okay, all right, so a year and a half. This is a big moment, Rick, Hussein, Brian, because Aaron is a person
Is a
of...
transsexual.
Well, no. I wasn't going to talk about the transsexual thing. That's of no note importance. What's really important here, guys, is Aaron has shags whoever he can have the rough sex, angry sex with.
Show us your rough pose.
So one of you are getting ready to be selected because you're going to be the roughest, angriest sexual partner that Aaron can pick. So Aaron, who is that this week? Who are you shagging?
They're not doing rough poses.
This is completely easy. So that was great. So let's see. We're going to have to shag. Okay, first of all, I have to say that Hussein's reaction immediately gave him all the points.
Hussein's got all the points.
He was immediately
Y'all,
into it. He had confidence.
Hussein's reaction is giving him all of the points right now.
His confidence is showing.
Confidence is
The
showing.
confidence. You knew right away it was you. You started stretching. Like,
Wait, when he turned sideways and I saw the silhouette, I saw the confidence. I saw it, yes. Okay.
Yes, exactly. That BDE, that big dick energy.
Exactly, the big dick energy.
big dick
And by the way, to all of our models, Aaron has coined the word, and it's happening out, big dick energy, which
BDE.
Which is a funny, interesting observation from Aaron Phoenix, and it is a bullseye. So you're shagging who?
Yeah, which one are you shagging?
Because Brian seemed a little like he felt like he needed to fluff them feathers up and show he had a little something to prove. So I feel like that'll be fun, but only for a night.
You're wait. I got it because we have the delay, Aaron. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm clear here. Who are you shagging?
We're shagging Brian because we're gonna get that attitude right out of the
Brian
way.
gets the
We're
vote
shagging.
from Aaron Phoenix. Congratulations.
Aaron is bringing a friend.
Okay, all right. Congratulations, Brian. You're going to be the angry sex partner tonight. The rougher, the better. And who are you marrying?
We're marrying Hussein because he looks like he can handle the angry, rough sex.
Hussein has been saved and is now married. Yeah. And Hussein, God bless you because you have a believe me.
You have a handful.
And wait. And you're gonna chop Rick because
his facial reaction was he looked a little too surprised when you said rough sex, and I don't need somebody who's new to this.
Wait.
You knew.
Rick,
you knew.
Aaron Phoenix has just called you out in the chop because when I talked about Aaron's rough sex, you thought timid. You were too mild in your response and therefore couldn't keep up with him.
Your facial expression.
Tell him to look him up on Pornhub.
Yeah, look him up on Pornhub. Girl.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
Aaron.
I'm certain I won't.
Yeah. Be sure and look Rick up on Pornhub.
But he is a model on Nasty Pig.
Okay. Now, Power. Let's move to you, guys. By the way, Rick, Hussein, Brian. Power has said he's not going to play the game because he's not chopping anybody. We have laid down the law. He's going to follow our rules. So somebody must be chopped. That's the way it is. That's the final rule.
No, bitch, I laid down the law. I said what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm going to do.
All right,
So,
let's start with shagging.
So, okay, so I'm going to shag Rick York.
Rick York is being shagged. All right, there we go.
Diva Power Infinity.
And who are you marrying?
I am going to marry Hussein.
Hussein is being married. Why are you going to marry Hussein? I'm curious.
Because I also like rough, angry sex too.
Rough, angry sex.
When Aaron had said that, he got all ready to fight, and I like that. So yeah,
and Hussein can't hear you, so I'm translating for you. I feel like I'm at the UN.
Don't worry, the boys will be able to rewatch this.
Choosing you to marry because he is now titillated by what Aaron has said on rough, angry sex, and he wants to marry the person that's going to be the rough, angry sex, and you're the guy that he is choosing. And so you're chopping Brian?
No, I am not. Hell no, I'm not chopping Brian at all.
Power says, Brian, that he's chopping you. You're out. You're done. You're finished.
No, I did not say that. I am bearing Brian's children.
Brian, he's absolutely insistent.
Power,
he cannot stop.
You're her baby
he's
daddy.
Out. He's chopped.
Brian.
I'm finished with him. He's done.
Wrong.
Brian, those are the exact words.
You said you're her baby daddy.
Brian,
look at that booty, Power.
You're going to be bearing Power's children.
I said I'll bear his children.
Oh, Power's bearing your children, Brian.
You're the baby daddy.
Brian, really, to be honest with you, I'm lying to you because he's absolutely saying none of the words coming out of my mouth. I'm pulling a Donald Trump. It's called
oh, Lord.
And when we said that you were going to be burying his children tonight in the chopping instead of
Not
chopping,
burying.
he quickly corrected the fact that you will be, or that Power will be bearing your children tonight. So we've learned a lot about Power this evening. All right, so let's move into studio here in Welton Manors. And Josie, you play next. Who are you going to
Okay. All right, so I got to see everybody up close and personal.
Not that up close. We were doing social.
I mean, it was. I mean, but you know, it was
They walked
close
through
enough.
our room.
6 feet.
You've got
Yeah.
antibodies.
Yeah, I don't need to
They
wear
were
glasses
more than
to
20
see that.
feet away from me.
Yeah, but I mean, this is now very far. That you know. But anyways, let's just get to the point here, guys. I'm avoiding.
Stalling. You're not
stalling.
It's-
You're all shaggable, you're all marryable, and you're all
Says the lesbian
choppable.
on the
Okay.
You're all choppable. Oh, Hussein, please.
But just so you guys know,
I'm gonna play the game.
just so you
Rick,
know,
you're not leading by example.
just so you know, I'm kind of a big girl, so you know, 5'10" and a half, and I can throw around a big guy. So
guys, you
Rick,
know this.
me
In
and you,
terms of
brother.
Whoever is being selected, Chef Josie started out as a woman's professional football player
Yeah.
in New York. So whoever she's going to shag, oh dear God, dear God.
Yeah, so
take it like a man.
So Rick, you're the one I'm shagging, okay?
Congratulations, Rick. You're going to be sore tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So and then who I'm marrying, you know, again.
He looks
You know,
adorable
I really
like that.
appreciate that effort. I appreciate that effort. However, on this round, I'm gonna have to say that I'm gonna marry cute little Brian because I think he'll get along really well with my wife. And then Hussein, I'll just save you for one of my friends. Don't worry, honey. I got lots of cute friends.
All right, that's exactly right. Brian, you're going to be in a cool three-way with two lesbian girls. Exactly.
He said he can't wait.
He can't, right.
This is
you
not a
couldn't hear
real
it,
life
but,
shag,
Brian
marry,
said he
chop.
couldn't.
It's all fictional.
And please, before a word comes out of your mouth, don't touch your phone. Don't touch your phone. Please, God, I hope your husband is watching. Please, God. All right, tell us who you're going to shag.
Okay, so I heard one of them was a doctor. Which one's the doctor?
No.
Are you serious?
And fashion designer.
And fashion designer. Okay, so I'm marrying Rick York. Okay, shag. I'm shagging Hussein.
You're shagging
my
Hussein.
doctor.
All right. Wait, is Hussein a doctor?
Yeah.
Hussein.
So I'm.
Who was in our Shag Marry Shop Sexy Doctor?
Knowledge is power. Learning is fun. And I'm totally going to social climb a doctor for my shagathon. And my Mary is Rick York. I've been friends with Rick York when he was a little boy before he ever did porn.
Now I have to correct that, America, because I'm pretty damn sure there's nothing about Rick York that is connected with the adjective little.
No, I'm not talking about little. I mean, I knew him when he was very young and before he was a porn star. And I definitely think that we could be lifetime compatible. She's my sister, and I love her. I don't know Brian, but
sweet.
I guess you're getting
Is that
chopped.
what sister season means?
Oh yeah, sister season. Come on, Rick. It's sister season.
Now you got it. All right. And explain to us why Brian's on the chopping block.
Because I'm social climbing a doctor for my shag, and I'm marrying somebody I know I can get along with and not kill. And I don't know Brian, so bye.
All right.
All right.
Now everybody's going to be. I'm only going to partially play this game, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, boys.
Seriously, y'all have been great.
Great
we
sports,
love
yeah.
the participation in this first ever live version of it. But I have to tell you, and this will come as a surprise to a lot of people, I have lots and lots of friends that are like Hussein. So therefore, I'm not shagging Hussein, and I'm not marrying Hussein.
He got enough action from the
You're
team.
the guy. You are absolutely the guy. So, guys,
Tell Brian, let's get to the baby making.
Brian, Power wants to start making those babies.
Right, exactly. So, guys, thank you very much. And America, we hope you have enjoyed it. It's our game Shag, Marry, Chop. And we thank all of you for participating tonight. Well, our Pride edition, May 31st, on the eve of Pride Month, and it's time to say goodnight. So let's hear from our host for one final time. And let's begin with a good night from Mark Pettitt.
Good night, everyone. Have a very happy Pride Month. Make sure it is 1 part pride, one part protest, and really push the envelope, bring somebody with you.
Mark, I have to ask you, we talked about it at the top of the show. I'm going to be doing the Stonewall Pride Parade in Apple Television and Roku, and this woman is going to be sitting next to me, and Mark and Luke's link designs are going to be worn. Am I going to be impressed, or am I going to be shocked?
I think that you're going to find it very much in alignment with Faye's personality. It's loud, bold, and powerful.
Ooh, I love that.
Wow, I was going to say slow and not so entertaining. But okay, we'll accept what you said. Okay, and TriniDaddy, a good night from you.
Good night, everybody. Happy Pride. Bring everybody to the table. Let them scream with you at Pride and every day after that. And I want to thank It's Happening Out for your inclusivity. And who would have ever thought that there would be two Indo-Caribbean men at the same table? I've never seen that in television ever in history. So thank you for that.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
We'll just have to fix that.
Yeah, that's.
I know. I almost stabbed him and stuffed him in the trash when I saw him.
Wow. All right.
I got you, Faye.
And let's move to the other side of the Indo-Caribbean. Kal Gajraj, a good night from you.
Good night, everyone. Happy Pride Month. I think the most important thing this month is that even though it doesn't feel as celebratory to me, there's a lot of misinformation that's out there. And the big thing is just know the facts, like know what's going on, know what the issues are, know the, correcting things on social media, talking with your friends, your allies, your coworkers, have those uncomfortable conversations and, correct the truths that are out there.
Kal, you remind me, and I should correct the truth. So it's not true that Ron DeSantis is running for president of the United States. I read that in a way.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We'll wait to fact check it.
Yeah, we'll fact check it later. And our birthday boy, he's turned 21 years old.
Woohoo.
We were talking before the show that he's been 20 for like 9.5 years.
Right?
So
it feels that way.
It does. So good night from Maxx Fenning.
Good night, everyone. I'm so excited for Pride Month. Once again, Pride is a protest. I already have planned on wearing matching pasties with plenty of other people at Stonewall. So I will see you there, June 17th.
Yeah. Pasties. Yeah. Okay. And a good night from FayWhat.
Yeah, that's me. So happy Pride Month. It's May 31st, all right? You have the whole entire month of June to do something. All right, for all those LGBTQ plus people out there that after we got marriage, you kind of just quit. We need you now more than ever, okay? So folks, that LGBTQ plus person that can't be bothered. Oh, I don't want to know. I'm going to be at the bar. I don't want to know who's running or what's going on in politics. Shake the shit out of them and tell them that we need you now more than ever. You have this whole month to do something. I'm sick and tired of everybody sending me messages on all social media. What can I do, Faye? Let me know when the protest is. Let me know. This is what you can do, is show the fuck up and bring your friends.
Yeah. I'm going to put that on their shirt. Show the fuck up. Okay. Well, bring your friends. Wait, $1 million idea, right? Exactly.
I'm stealing it. Go to www.prismfl.org/.
Right.
Buy your merch right now.
All right. Well, that's it. Another week with It's Happening Out. You sat right here at the LGBTQ plus kitchen table as we kikied on the things that are important to our community. Tonight is interesting because you got to see a conglomeration of lots of different things that we have done over the last 4 years leading up to this Pride celebration. Remember, as I've said, I think, at least from my seat, this may be the most important Pride month I have ever been through. And that's a lot of years. And the reason is we have somebody in the governor's mansion in Tallahassee and somebody in Mar-a-Lago, just 38 miles north of us, and both of them want to do terrible things to you. So Faye's words about showing up and doing something are the right ones. Now the question is, are you going to? If you come to our Pride celebrations and you have a great time, great. But if you're only coming to have a great time, you're kind of missing the point of what Pride is all about. We invite you to follow our 501c3 nonprofit experiment. Is our LGBTQ community important to you? Our mission means to us, we deeply believe it is. So pick up Hotspots magazine on newsstands all over South Florida. Queer News Tonight covering the LGBTQ plus news of South Florida, America, and our world. And it's daily and live at 8 p.m. on Roku and Apple Television and many other television platforms. And our flagship is with you here tonight and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Because remember, if it's important to you,
it's happening out.
Until next time, good night. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show from Happening Out Television Network. In the model of PBS and NPR, we educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of the LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the stories going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.